Today on Hytale, Rideable Raptors, a modding blog post, the Hytale launcher, and more. Welcome to the daily Hytale update. I am your host, Muffled Muffin, and let's dive straight into the news. The day started with a showcase of the Hytale launcher being used to install and play Hytale. Right now, it's pretty much empty with all of the text left as placeholders, but it is nice to know that they've got it working. We also have this image showing the sign-in screen, which nicely displays the new key art that was made for the Hytale Savior, so that's pretty perfect. Simon confirmed that all players will have their own unique username, which is what originally Hytale was going to be, and he has also previously mentioned a name reservation system, which lines up very much with the original vision for Hytale. People have been using the spawn NPC files from Simon's gameplay video to estimate the number of NPCs in Hytale to be about 750, but Simon debunked this theory today, claiming that most of the files were either templates, tests, or various other things, and that the real number of NPCs is about more than 100, but nowhere near that 750 number that's been quoted. Simon also stated that the portal we saw at the end of the video did not lead to dungeons. It is unclear if he means dungeons in the traditional underground sense or the video game restricted level sense. The time limit suggests that Simon means that the setting is not of a dungeon, but somewhere else, perhaps one of Hytale's Alterverses, but still functionally plays like any video game dungeon would. He also addresses the lack of passive mobs in his video, saying that they were turned off because there were way too many and there was poop everywhere and they had overcompensated in the version he was playing and broken it, leading to there being no passive mobs at all. Oscar Garvin, Hytale's music composer, edited an old Reddit post linking the whole Hytale soundtrack, announcing that it was now allowed to be used in content, so now you will likely hear a wider variety of songs in the background of people's Hytale videos. Plans to test Hytale to determine minimum specs, fix major crashes, and test the Hytale launcher were confirmed to be happening next week, with a release date announcement coming at the end of that week. Hytale's pricing will also be announced tomorrow, although it is not clear how it will be announced, if it'll be a Discord post, a Twitter post, a blog post. Nobody knows. Paulina, one of Hytale's visual effects artists and just general game designer, spoke a little about particle effects and how they can be spawned on entities in response to triggers. She talks a little about the logic and some more specific aspects of attaching particles to items, and also mentions a mob called the Ember Wolf, which I assume is the official name for this mob that I've been calling the Lava Pup, but we'll have to wait for official confirmation on that. The Hytale Twitter account then dropped a handful of videos, including Propsy exploring Zone 4 and encountering some of the angular raptors that we have seen in the past. Christmas came early for Canadian Flash because quickly after this video, they posted a second one where they modded raptors to be rideable by players and rode around on one for a bit. They look super fast and they can jump super high. Simon commented on these raptors, saying that their AI was horrible at the moment and needs to be worked on once the team is through their 2,000 item backlog of issues. The reason that raptors were not rideable to begin with and needed to be modded in was because Hytale currently has no mount taming system, which complicates it a little. This issue may only apply to mobs that aren't friendly by default. I would expect more traditional mounts to be rideable without having to be tamed first to circumvent this issue, especially as riding mounts was featured in the trailer, so hopefully it'll be part of the launch version. And I would expect it to stay like this, at least until a taming system is implemented, where maybe you will then have to tame your horses and your goats and whatever else you may ride. Slikey, Hytale's technical director, posted a blog post today outlining modding, its current state, and their plans for the future. He restated that Hytale would only have a moddable server, not client, and mentioned that the modding tools were far from good, but that they would share them anyways on release. There are also currently 4 categories of Hytale mods: plugins, data assets such as blocks and loot, art assets, and save files. Text-based Louis U scripting has been removed as the team decided that it was more worthwhile to pursue a visual scripting interface instead due to the much lower learning curve. He then mentions that some tools available to us to use in the game will be the in-game Hytale asset editor, an official Blockbench plugin, an asset graph editor for world gen and NPC modifications, machinima tools, and creative tools to create Hytale assets, with more to come in the future. Psyche confirms that they are working to release the server source code as soon as they are legally able to, and in the meantime suggests decompiling the servers yourself if modders want to understand the server better. He also acknowledges that Hytale documentation is currently very poor for many of the tools and is hoping that it will get better. Mod sharing, custom UI, and stability are all in active development, so we can expect fast iteration after launch regarding all of those, especially stability, because obviously the Hytale team does not want the game to have huge crashing issues. Plans to launch an official minigame server are shared, although Slikey gives us no information on what games it will feature or the timeline we can expect it to release on, so there's little to glean from that, but still cool to know that it's actively in their minds right now. Next, development bounties for certain features are confirmed, so if you want to earn a quick penny and have game dev experience, I'd keep an eye out for that, see if you can maybe fix some Hytale, get some of your code in the game somewhere. That'd be a pretty cool thing to flex on to your friends. He mentions visual scripting and their node editor, and to close it off, reiterates that modding will be very early access with poor documentation and frequent crashes. If you are interested in modding, I'd highly recommend giving this whole post a read. Slikey will also be doing a Q&A on the Hytale Discord at 5 PM GMT on November 22nd, which is this Saturday. Back to Twitter, Simon said that tomorrow is going to be another big day for Hytale news. Hopefully that means a similar amount of information to Tuesday, where we got obviously the 16 minutes of gameplay, but definitely more content to look forward to. Make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss tomorrow's episode of the daily Hytale update. Slikey confirmed that you can invite friends to your single player world, although the question he responded to was asking about LAN connections or local area network, so it's not fully clear if you have to be on the same Wi-Fi network to be able to connect. Hopefully it can be easily done from anywhere right away. Custom shaders are still off the table, with no plans for shader support in Hytale because that would involve modifying the game client. They do keep an open mind about it, but generally they don't want to allow modding of the client, which I believe is how you make shader mods. If somebody more knowledgeable about me can tell me that I'm wrong, please do in the comments down below, but that is my understanding of it. After that, Simon stated that people are not realizing how good the World Gen editor is, and that there will be a World Gen blog post soon, a message that has been mirrored many times by Slikey, who also said that there are currently 2 world generators that run side by side in tandem, with more details regarding that to come. He was really hyping up one of them as being super cool, so I'm super excited. Slikey has certainly done a good job at making me excited for this post, so hopefully it comes out soon because I really want to see it. Slikey confirmed that servers control the mods that are used by players, and as such there will be no way for players to bring their own mods into multiplayer. This has raised some concerns about players not being able to have any accessibility mods they might need, or if you for example want a zoom mod, that wouldn't be able to be done either, which might be a downside, but I'm sure the team will look into it in the future. Efforts to increase the render distance for Hytale are discussed, and the team has a developer of Sodium, a popular Minecraft optimization mod, working on the rendering engine to maximize performance. Speaking of optimization, Slikey confirmed on Discord that Hytale uses multi-threading to boost performance, which I believe is one of the largest things that holds back Minecraft Java Edition from a performance perspective. This has led to a max render distance of 1024 blocks, which is equivalent to 64 Minecraft chunks. Hopefully that number will increase throughout the years, as that is less than Bedrock's max by a lot, which Bedrock's max is about 96 chunks on top-end PCs, and on my low-end gaming laptop I can run about 74, but more like 64 if I want it to run smoothly. So that's just an interesting benchmark to keep in mind. It doesn't really need to be better than Bedrock's, but it's just nice to have as far of a render distance as possible, especially for an adventure game. He also confirmed that the maximum building height was 320 blocks, which again is less than Minecraft, which has about a 400 block range. I'm not sure what the exact limits are, but it goes from -64 to 300 and something. So here's another range where they're kind of starting on the back foot with Hytale, but it should be fairly easy to change, and Slikey obviously already regrets that decision. Level of detail rendering will not be coming for launch, but hopefully they will add it in the future. It seems that it was something that they had considered, and this would obviously increase performance if implemented correctly and allow for much greater render distance. Last but not least, Lyle, the co-founder and co-owner of Hytale, actually confirmed on the day that Hytale was saved, which was a while ago, I just missed it, that Arcanite Games' project has been put on hold and its team is all focused on working on Hytale for now until future notice. That was all of today's news and a little bit from before, so until tomorrow, which may I remind you, will be a big day for Hytale news, so potentially you'll even get 2 videos from me. Goodbye and stay happy.